بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد، رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, a month ago, as some of you probably know, I went back home to Palestine, and it's been a really long time since I've been there. It's been over a decade. And one of the things I noticed when I went there is, after you're gone for a long time, is how many people were missing. Were either people who passed away, people who got sick and died, people who migrated and never heard from them. And one thing, as you sit with your friends and relatives and talk about those people who now you've missed, now those who passed away, those who died, those who got killed, etc., etc., you always remember something about them, right? And that got me thinking that we all will eventually die. And we all are leaving some kind of legacy in this life, whether it's a good legacy or a bad legacy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Yasin, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا وَآثَارَهُم, that we will bring everyone back to life after they die. And then what we wrote for them, actually, everyone will have their deeds written, both the deeds that they did in this life and آثارهم. And atharahum in many tafasir is the things that all the deeds that will be written for them after they die. Good deeds and bad deeds. And that's all part of your legacy. What you leave behind after you die, the things that either people will remember you for and made good dua for you, or the things that people will feel relieved that you passed away, all the harms that you did in this life. And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we leave a good legacy behind us when we die. But it's not easy. No. Ibrahim alayhi salam made this beautiful dua in the Quran, where he said, Rabbi habli hukman wa alhiqni bis salihin. He made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that oh Allah, grant me wisdom or grant me kingdom and alhiqni bis salihin. But then he said, وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ. And this is a beautiful dua that I didn't realize what it means until recently. وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ means that give me a respectful reputation in those who will come after me. And subhanallah, Ibrahim alayhi salam is probably quantity-wise is the most respected individual in mankind. All mainstream faith respect Ibrahim alayhi salam. Everyone on earth recognize Ibrahim alayhi salam. So quantity-wise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that dua for him. So let's make that dua for ourselves. وَاجْعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ. Make our legacy live long after I die. So how do we create that legacy for ourselves? It's certainly not easy. And we all know, we've all been there. When we talk about someone, we made dua for them, but then you remember that one thing that they did for you, how they made you feel about certain things. And we all remember famous ulama, and we make dua and istighfar for them, for the things that they left behind after they died. So how do we create that legacy for ourselves? One thing that all the ulama agree on is having a good intention, having a good niyyah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the things that we do in this life will live far after we die, and we only do them for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the time when Imam Malik, for example, wrote his Muwatta, the first book of Hadith, it was, as was narrated by scholars, at that time it was like a fad. Everyone wanted to write a book of hadith that will live long after them. And the students of Imam Malik actually told him not to write a book, because it was a fad at the time and everyone was trying to do it. So why not be different? Don't write a book for hadith. And Imam Malik said, مَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ بَقَى. Whatever I do and make a clear intention for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will live after me. And subhanallah, it's the only Muwatta that we know of. There were many other books that had the same name, Muwatta, but only the book by Imam Malik is the one that we know till today. Same thing, Imam al-Nawawi, when he wrote Al-Arba'in al-Nawawiyah, there are over 50 books in our history that were called Al-Arba'in of something, the 40 of something. The only book that we know today was the book of Imam al-Nawawi. Not because those are the best 40, it's because he made intention, he made clear intention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and niyyah sadiqa to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this book is for Allah. He didn't want anything back from this book. He didn't want to be famous. He wanted to write a book that will live long after he died. The other thing that we all need to do to make sure that our legacy lives behind us is to invest in both ourselves and our kids. Our legacy is not only, will not only live because of what we know about the religion. We have very famous scholars in Islam who have discovered their niche in this life, discovered the one thing that they can do really well, focus their attentions, made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and contributed to that knowledge in a way that was beneficial to all mankind. And those are the people that we still remember today. And so finding your niche in this life, finding the things that you can excel at, and working hard towards that goal, but then at the same time contributing to that knowledge to others. If you're acquiring knowledge, make sure that you distribute that knowledge. So Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." That if you know anything, if you know a knowledge and you know that knowledge is beneficial to other people, make sure that you distribute that knowledge. You talk about your knowledge. If you're in a field and your field is helpful to people, make sure you distribute that message and talk about your field to others, to make sure that this knowledge is helpful to others. And as you do that, you will come through many failures, many defeats, but eventually, if your intent is pure to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will have success in this life. Or sometimes that your success will come after you, that you will build something that others can use and advance your field. So have that hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and continue to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that when you pass away, that your legacy lives behind you. And one of the things that we often forget about is our legacy is manifested in our children and in our friends and in our relatives and in the people that we leave an impression on as part of our journey in life. SubhanAllah, we talk a lot and we do lots of things, but the one thing that people remember about you when you leave is how you made them feel. And that's something that we learned from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when he used to talk to someone, he would give him or her his full attention. He won't get distracted by anything. He will talk to them as if they're the most important person in the room for them. And that's something we sometimes forget about. And that always leaves an impression, especially on newcomers to the masjid, for example, or newcomers to our community, those who often struggle to make that first contact and break into our close circles. And so many people will remember this first impression on how you made them feel long after you're gone, and they will make dua for you not because of something you said or something you helped them with, just because of that you made them feel welcomed and appreciated and part of this community. So make sure that you become proactive when it comes to welcoming new people and strangers and even non-Muslims and those who we want to make sure that they feel welcome and important in our community. And finally, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in a beautiful dua, رَبِّ هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. In this last part, وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا, everyone can make that dua, that we become imam. And imam means different things in Arabic, but one of those meanings is being leaders, لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He puts that leadership, those leadership skills in ourselves and help us become leaders in our small circles, in our families, and then in our community is something that we should aspire for. And it's certainly something that will help us build that legacy and will, inshallah, will continue to live long after we die. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He put those pure intentions in our heart and make us imams in our communities and in our small circles. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He build a reputation for us that live long after we die. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put people in our lives that will continue to make dua for us long after we die. Ameen. Jazakumullahu khair.